Hello and welcome back to our life. Feels like an eternity since we've done a playthrough. We are currently doing Derek's epilogue. So, let's get into it. Together, you crossed the street and walked up to the familiar door. It was still a little odd remembering that the condo was now only inhabited by a single Holden. You rang the doorbell and waited. Luckily, the familiar face of Mr. Holden appeared in the doorway and beamed at seeing you.
Hey!
Hi! Derek gave a big wave that Mr. Holden returned, cheerily, until his brain caught up enough to let him speak. Where in the world did you come from? Surprise! You tipped your head back and burst into a deep laugh. When you could breathe again, you pointed your thumb at Derek. He sent me to stay at his place, so I could come visit.
Come on.
Oh, that's great. Come on in. He waved for you two to follow inside. You did. And he glanced back over his shoulder to address you further. So, what can I do for you two today? Well, I do have a question for you.
Oh?
Oh? Yeah? Ask away. I know you're not really my dad, but I would like you to be with me on Father's Day. Nervously, you twisted your fingers while you waited for Mr. Holden and shook the pass. He placed a hand on his chest, with a thumb giving himself a bit of a jump start. We'll be going to the Suarez Family Day celebration. Really? I can come? Of course. I wouldn't invite you if you weren't welcome. Kelly's right. My family loves you and... He paused, glancing over at you. Derek knew how much this invitation meant. You're important to everyone that'll be there. So, could you join us? You could see the tears stand to fall in Mr. Holland's eyes. He was trying with great difficulty to not get too emotional.
Okay.
Then I'll be there. Just tell me when and where.
It's no problem.
I'll text you the details later tonight. Great. Mr. Holland shifted uncomfortably on his feet. He was still feeling overwhelmed by the situation, but he shyly faced you. I hope you've been doing well. I have. It's been good. Really good.
How's it going?
Glad to hear that. And your moms, are they doing alright? I actually haven't seen them yet. We're going there next. Oh, could I tag along? I've been meaning to visit them, and it would be nice to stick with you two a little while longer. Yeah, that'd be perfect. Let's move this party across the street. Nothing else needed to be said after that. The newly arranged group pivoted out the door and strolled right over to your childhood home. Without missing a beat, you located and rang the oddly placed doorbell. Matt expectantly answered the door. Her eyes sparkled and landed on you immediately.
Hi.
Hello, sweetie. And Derek, welcome. A few seconds later, she realized there was a third, less anticipated guest at her doorstep. She tried buying back her giggles with little success. Oh, and hello to you, stranger. Hey there, the kid swung by and I thought I'd visit you. What a lovely surprise. Come in, come in. Ma stepped aside, grinning widely. She held the door open all the way so everyone could hurry through. Hey! Mom's voice rang out from the hall right before she physically appeared in front of you. She excitedly stopped at her wife's side.
Nice.
Woo! What a great crowd! You're both looking good. You threw your arms around both of them. They chuckled as you pulled them close. You let out a deep sigh, content to be home again. Heck yes, we are! Ma mischievously winked. Especially you, Pam. You get prettier every year. I swear. Lenny! Mom knocked her shoulder to her wife's, but Ma ignored her and leaned towards you instead. She cupped her hand to the side of her mouth to whisper. It's true. Derek gently worked his way into the conversation. He didn't miss the way his skin was suddenly a shade rosier than before.
Good to see you.
Thanks, Mrs. and Mrs. Wolf, for letting me come by too. It's nice to see you again.
You're fantastic.
You don't need to thank us for that. You can come over any time. You're an excellent
That's
guest.
fantastic.
Yes, and we need to thank you for giving Callie a place to stay. Now we'll get to visit them even more this summer. They shared a knowing look, with their eyes alight. They had to be thinking of that big anniversary later in the season. You'd be coming back to Sunset Bud for that. You didn't mind all the traveling. It was worth it. Good point. Happy almost anniversary. Thank you. It's gonna be a night to remember, I'm sure. I bet we're going to be having a little shindig at the Cypress. But what's shaking? You've been busy, huh? There was certainly a lot going on in your and Derek's lives. You had an inkling of what was once again coming to Derek's mind. You had an inkling of what was again coming to mind fast for Derek. His body went stiff, and it was obvious that he was struggling to find what to say. Understandably, Derek wasn't as confident in front of your family as he was with his own. He knew with his family that they would support unconditionally, but here there was an underlying fear that he might not be good enough for this audience. You break the news yourself. You wanted Derek to know that without a doubt you weren't the only one that adored him. Stepping forward, you felt your heart go. Busy is the word. Derek and I might get married at the end of the summer. Your face hurt with how wide you were grinning. But you couldn't stop it if you tried. You shrugged. I know, it's a shock, but please, trust us. The news at everyone's jaws dropped, hitting the floor. You could swore you could have heard a pin drop. It went that quiet. Derek tried to elaborate. He knew he was attempting to remain upbeat, but his voice came out awkward.
The truth is,
The thing is, 10 years ago we said we would marry each other if we were both still single at this age. So that's what's happening now. We're gonna see how it goes. He managed to end it off on a confident-sounding note. Your moms and Mr. Holden blinked at you. As a guide to navigate this situation, you held on to the Derek's family had reacted earlier. That had gone well, basically. He waited patiently. Then Mom snorted and pointed at Derek. We clearly underestimated him. Ma hummed nostalgically. She tried holding back her utter amusement, but it was obvious. Even I hadn't guessed it would be that serious. You arranged a marriage as teenagers. Your moms leaned close together and giggled uncontrollably. Sighing, you felt immensely better about the situation. Mr. Holden's head tilted back, and he let out a shaking laugh. Here at the back of his neck. There's worse ways to make a decision on getting married. Derek had no idea what to do with himself now, so he idly combed his fingers through the section of his hair. It's good to be prepared, as I always say. Mom decided to step closer and furtively patted his arm.
True.
That's very true, and the two of you are responsible adults. I trust you'll make the best decisions for yourselves. Good luck, Derek. You shifted your attention to Mr. Holden for his next opinion. He probably gave you a thumbs up.
absolutely.
The two of you ladies hit the nail on the head. Thanks!
Now.
Come now and tell us about how it all happened. We need the details. The group relaxed and hung out in the living room. Each person shared updates on the past and plans of the future. It went on until the sun began to set. At that point, you and Derek decided it was best to leave sooner rather than later. The end of the visit was accepted with grace. Bye! Thanks again for coming to see us.
Take care.
Tell Mr. Suarez Happy Father's Day for us.
I got you.
We'll be sure to do that. Mr. Holden remained in his seat. He already planned on visiting your mom a little while longer.
See you.
Take care. I'll see you two tomorrow. Bye! With that, you stepped out into the warm embrace of the evening air, leaving the house, going onto that street. It was something you had done countless times, believing how much of the context of that action had exchange was hard. You were only here for a visit, and your boyfriend, Derek Suarez, had joined you. A true twist on the story of older days. Derek followed you out, but didn't go to his car. Instead, he stepped into the center of the road and stayed there. His gaze wandered up the hill and passed that off into the distance. He spoke with a voice as comforting as the familiar song of the crickets. Hey, before we go, could we stretch our legs a bit? There's one other thing I want to do while we're here. That's no problem. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Derek tilted his head in the direction he wanted to go, his mouth hooked into a grin, and then his dad strolling. He followed at his side. He gently slipped his fingers around yours. It made your heart flutter joyfully. Derek moved with wide, carefree strides. You giggled as you linked hands, swinging with each step. You found yourselves headed outside of the residential area of Sunset Bud and onto the main street. It had been nice to refamiliarize yourself with the area during the little jaunt. Derek got a conversation going between you. Oh damn! Going better than I expected. With our families, though, even saying it aloud to them, it still hasn't made me... Though even saying it out loud to them still hasn't made it feel totally real yet. There's no way you're actually dating me, I think. Well, what I can't believe is that it took almost 10 years. Scrutinizing him, you let yourself think about the magnitude of the entire situation. It had been a long time coming. Derek cracked a smile before letting his gaze fall to the ground. The conversation hung on that note. The walk continued, and you had a good idea of where he was going at that point. There was something coming up in the middle of the path. It wouldn't hold any interest to anyone other than you, Derek, and Cove. For the three of you, it was special. Derek crouched down to the ground right where you expected. He smiled wistfully at the decade-old inscription. The writing was well worn, but still visible. He slowly placed his finger over the small print he left in the concrete as a 13-year-old. He was so much larger than he used to be. His finger completely eclipsed the tiny mark. And yet, he seemed small again to you in that moment. Derek moved to the summer of 2011 you had made. He dragged his fingertip over to carefully trace it. There was something on his mind that swept him miles away from all the sun. You had no idea what it could be, and that anxiety. You had no idea what it could be, and that anxiety left a sour taste on your tongue. Derek remained transfixed with the concrete and his own internal musing. Gradually, his frown lessened.
This sucks.
Time is a sucky thing to play against. If you mess up, that is. Even if you try to turn things around later, you're not getting what you lost back. It's just gone. You think you messed something up? He chuckled. It was the farthest thing from being reassuring. He nervously chewed at the inside of your cheek.
I've really messed up.
I messed up a lot of things. That was all that came of it. Derek pushed off the ground and got back onto his feet. He brushed some dirt off and took his phone. He got a picture of himself giving a thumbs up in front of the concrete slab. The man around him vanished.
Okay.
I'm gonna text this to Cove. Wait, I want to be in the picture too! Oh, sure! You held out. Oh my god. You held your hand out in the air above the marking, and Derek went with another thumbs up. He snapped at the picture. Now it's perfect. Yeah. You caught Derek's gaze wandering up again. He hummed thoughtfully, and you followed his eyeline to the local store across the street.
Oh, man.
I just remembered, I'm still low on groceries. We could journey over there. We could, but I'm worried about things going bad on the drive back to the apartment. Plus, it's been a super long day already. How about we pick something up for dinner, save the shopping for tomorrow? My treat. Sounds like a rock solid plan to me? Awesome. Think about what you're in the mood for and let's get going. Together, you eagerly went back the way you came. This time you got in the car and drove out of Sunset Bud once more. Derek ordered from your preferred drive-thru and temporarily parked in the shade to pass out the goods. Well, I hope we didn't order the entire menu again because we did that twice. Once at 13 and once at 18. He handed you your drink and a folded paper bag with your food. You dug into it immediately. Derek's ride was nice and still had a new car smell, but he had no problem with people eating in it. He shared his philosophy of the inevitability that lived in stuff is going to get dirty. He wasn't about to get mad about normal wear and tear. With a big family of busy boys and the inability to keep things pristine certainty must have been an unavoidable fact of life for Derek. You and him enjoyed the meal. It was long finished when he pulled into his apartment's designated parking spot. The sunset dimmed down to inky blackness. It was hard to see. Derek switched on the interior car light as you gathered up the trash and bags that the dinner had come in. He led the way to his place, key in hand, and unlocked his door. Derek held it open for you instead of going through. You could have told someone that you'd do that. You could have told someone he'd do that before it ever happened. That was second nature to Derek. You took a few steps in and flicked on the front light switch. Derek came in second and closed the door behind him.
Phew.
Phew! He walked further into his living room and plopped down on the couch. This was a successful day. A long, successful day. I feel like you've been here a week. I feel like you've already been here a week and you got here this morning. I've practically forgotten I don't live here. Well, that's easily fixed. Derek then snorted and shook his head. Well, maybe not easily. I just remembered when I last moved. You're still welcome around here any time. Derek leaned his head back as he thought. Tomorrow's gonna be busy too. He raised his hand and counted the planned activities of the finger. Groceries, taking the bros out, then the Father's Day thing. I also want to get something gift-wise for Father's Day. Don't add that to the list. I want to get something for your dad and Mr. Owen for the holiday.
I'm impressed.
You're so nice. We can find something while we're out shopping, I bet. Yeah, I like that idea. Thanks. Derek blinked sleepily, sinking further into the couch. He looked cozy. He shook himself and suddenly clapped his hands together. But hey, you probably want to shower and settle in for real, before it gets even later. He grabbed the back of the couch and hauled himself to his feet.
No worries.
We can always work on the schedule, when we're not sweaty and exhausted. Sounds like a plan to me. See you soon, then. Derek waved you off as you returned to the guest room. You got out of your stuff, put your toiletries in the bathroom, and showered. Try to be quick and were soon in your pajamas, winding down for the night. Once again, you're back in your room. You plugged in your phone, charger, and unpacked tomorrow's clothes. A knock rattled your door. Can I come in? Yeah,
Thanks.
thanks. Derek accepted your invitation and shut the door behind him after he walked in. That's pretty person. Hi. You sat on the bed and patted the spot next to you. You shut your suitcase and found on the edge of the bed. You scooted to the corner, leaving a room for a Derek-sized person to sit down. Derek stood in the corner of the room, not getting the hint, so you gestured at the empty space beside you.
Oh.
Oh! Is he now clueless? He strode forward and hopped onto the mattress. The bed bounced beneath you. He grinned boyishly at you. Everything good in here? Definitely. I've triple checked that I brought everything. Oh, triple checked. That's how you do it. I can do that too. Once I double checked when I was packing and found out when I got there I forgot my phone charger. Derek stretched his arms above his head and yawned. By his sleepiness, he remained upbeat. Rather than seeming done with the conversation, he appeared to be mulling something over, probably what to say next. He wasn't being responsible and going to bed early. He didn't mind. This was your first day having to go on together, and there was no need to rush its end. A spark came to his eyes, inspiration striking him. He instinctively leaned closer to you, bringing your faces almost nose to nose. Callie! While you're here, we should go to the water park. There's one ways away, but it would so be worth it. He eagerly continued to lay out his thought process.
Oh, man.
We haven't done something like that since the boardwalk. Man, that was ages ago. And our families were there. If we tried it, we could keep it just you and me. Obviously, there's no chance tomorrow. So how about the day after that? We could get the first thing, spend the afternoon together, and get going before it gets late. He paused and took a hold of breath, all of his attention focused on your reaction. So, what do you think? That's perfect. The water park was such a good summer kind of thing to do. He looked forward to Derek finally taking you. Alright! Wait a second. His eyes went wide as something dawned on him. Would that be a date? Am I asking you on a date? That's kind of up to you, I'd say. The realization hit him. Derek's teeth were clenched, and he leaned back as he tried to process. Oh, hold on. He held his hands in the air in front of you, frantically gesturing for you to stay. I've got to go do something, but I'll be right back. Please, well, you know. He launched himself off the bed and across the floor. He fled the room before he could blink. You stay put, not sure what else to do. Derek should be okay. Hopefully. Confusion was your main emotion. Derek unwittingly asked you on a date, then ran off. Waited there in silence, occasionally tapping your foot. It had been about a minute until your phone rang. You can't help but chuckle at the absurd timing of your interruption. You glanced at your phone on the side table, then craned your neck to see if Derek was anywhere to be found. Derek wasn't in the hall. You went over to pick your phone and picked it up. You didn't plan on answering it, but did want to see who in the world needed to ring at that moment. The name lit up on your caller ID. The name lit up by your caller ID was Derek. What? You paused, doing nothing but staring at the jingling device in your palm. Then you slid your finger over the screen to answer. Hey there, what's going on? Derek chuckled. You could hear the nerves in his voice, even though the slight Derek chuckled. You could hear the nerves in his voice, even through the slight distortion from the phone. Did he just run to some other part of the house or just outside the apartment or on the balcony? Hello, this is Derek Salvarez. You were on my mind and I wanted to see you. And so I'm going to ask if you would agree to go on a date on Monday. You instantly laughed aloud, but affectionately. Why'd you have to go to ask me that? People arrange dates in person all the time. Derek hesitated before responding. Then he replied, soft and shy. Well, if you want the truth, since I was finally asking you out for real, I felt like I owed it to my young self to do it over the phone. That only gave you more questions. Waited for him to continue. His voice quieted to an almost whisper. Now, over the years, I thought about you a lot. You've never been forgettable.
I missed you.
No matter how busy I was, I'd still remember it was great hanging out. Missed you. Then I'd hype myself up, telling myself to pick up the stupid phone and ask you out. It wouldn't be the end of the world if you didn't want to. And hey, maybe it'll work out. I'll march over to my phone. I'd march over to the phone, put my ears and my fingers on the buttons, and then nothing. I put it back down with a sigh and think about how I didn't have the time and you were probably busy and you didn't want to date me anyway. This time I did it. I really caught you. And that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to invite you over, too, but I didn't want to bother you either. There were so many missed opportunities between the two of you. And now you were realizing it was even more than you thought. Derek laughed and a short, uncomfortable sound. I'm sorry you worried about that too. Those are a killer. No one spoke, and the awkwardness began to press on you. But Derek lowered his voice, unwilling to let it linger for any longer. Well, it's late. I shouldn't keep you up. I'll see you tomorrow, bright and early. We should plan to leave the apartment around by 8 for shopping. Everything's close enough that we can walk if that's alright. Okay,
Good night.
great. Good night, Callie. Download the Xbox Bytes. You had a beep and the call ended. You put your phone back on the table in your empty room. After all of what you earned, your exhaustion, you're at your limit. Too sleepy to do anything else, you switched off the lights and went straight to bed.